Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing another updated video, and I just wanted to let you know about what's happening with this case relating to my child, which is potentially right now is a child trafficking case. So basically, not the people that don't know, last year on May 22nd or 21st of 2024, which was about 16 months ago, Children in Society, without any court order, they came into my home, dragged me out of my apartment to take my son away from me. Since then, I went to various court hearings held at 47 Shepherd Family Court, and we went through a whole different process. I filed all the paperwork, I filed photos, but for whatever reason, even though the other people did not file any documents with the court, like any photographs proving any evidence, for whatever reason the judge always believes them, which is basically a trafficking case, child trafficking case basically. So right now, uh, I was denied trial for two sittings, which was supposed to be held in November of 2024 and also in September of 2024. So I was denied trial. I had to contact various different court, different judges and stuff, and then finally I was given trial dates for February of this year. So on February 24th until February 28th, we had a 5-day trial where many people attended as a witness. For example, there were teachers from four teachers from my son's previous school, my family doctor. Lots of videos and recordings were provided in court, and then we were told that the decision is reserved and that we will hear back from the court within 6 months. So the expiry for providing a judgment was on August 28th of 2025, right? So, and there's no order, there's no judgment on file. I have not seen my son in 16 months. I do get to talk to him for 30 minutes per week, but that's it. I haven't seen him, haven't been to his birthday, haven't been to his graduation. I've been completely excluded from my son's life. Even during the trial, they said, everybody said that I would never hit my son in any way. My ex-husband, he said that there has never been any concern relating to me yelling, screaming, or cursing my son, which was one of the allegations. The main issues of the case was that my home was not very clean and that my son was not taking care of his hygiene. My son is at that time was 12. Right now he's 13 years old. So, and he's like really tall. He's like 5'7", 5'8" right now. So, he's not like a little baby that I can give him a bath. He's a pretty well-grown person that usually takes care of his own hygiene. But regardless, I took the blame on behalf of him, because yeah, it is my responsibility to make sure that he's cleaning himself and dressing himself in proper outfits and stuff. Because I grew up in a very restricted family where I was always told what to wear, what not to wear, how I can act. Coming from a Bengali family, I did not want to impose those kind of restrictions onto my son, especially that he was born in Canada. We've been in Canada for almost like 23 years, almost 24 years now. So I give him pretty much like freedom for everything, to making sure that he doesn't hurt himself and stuff, and he's not breaking the law. But other than I let him pretty much decide what he wants to do for himself. So anyway, but still I was blamed for the fact that he wore dirty clothes a couple of times when he went to see his dad, and that my home was not clean. Those were the main concerns of the case. Everything else was just for the purpose of making it look like more dangerous than it really was. Like, there was a empty Coke cup on the bedside headboard of my son's room, and it came up as like, oh, that room is so freaking dirty, it was like unlivable and unhealthy environment. So they made things more complicated than it really was, and they made the issues look more bigger than it was, and they brought up issues that didn't even exist or was resolved like many, like 5-10 years ago. So anyways, so right now, there's a law. It's the rule 123 subsection 5 of Court of Justice Act, which says that a judge needs to make an order. For some reason, if a judge is unable to make an order within 6 months for a final judgment, then the parties needs to bring a motion before the Chief Justice. So for Ontario Court of Justice, it's Sharon M. Nicholas, I believe that's her name. That's how pronounce her name, Justice Sharon Nicholas. So you have to bring a motion before her and request an extension of time, granting the judge additional time to make a judgment. Now, the Children's Society, who is the opposing party on this proceeding, they said that they are not going to be looking for any extension of time. And there's no law that says that, hey, if a judge has not been able to provide a judgment within a prescribed time, then you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting. That's not the law. There's a specific law that says that the Chief Justice needs to grant this person extension of time, or a request for retrial needs to be made, or a rehearing needs to be made by the Chief Justice, not that judge's co-worker or the judge's friend, not the judge's supervisor, but it has to be by the Chief Justice of the Ontario Court of Justice. So I've been dealing with this, like the fact that these people are giving me a runaround, which makes it look even more sketchy. And their court system, but it's starting to look extremely sketchy. They're coming up with things that does not exist. They're telling me, so right now, because of this delay and some other issues happening, that the issues I'm not able to discuss. However, there is a proceeding that has been brought where this judge, who was supposed to make an order within the prescribed time, was not able to make a judgment, and obviously there's no permission given to her granting her extension of time. So there has been a proceeding in federal court right now, as well as in Supreme Court, which is under review. And I've said that, due to conflict of interest, this judge can no longer make a decision because she does not have the best interest. And I don't have to technically even start a proceeding because of that. Just because I'm having this video right now, the fact that I'm talking about this automatically puts the judge in conflict, and as a professional courtesy, which I hope that she knows what that is, that the 6th subsection 1 of conflict of interest says that a public holder or a judge who is responsible for making decision should not be making decisions if that person is aware of such conflict. So right now the Children's Society is asking me to provide them with any document that says that, okay, this judge cannot make a decision. Shouldn't this judge already know this, that there is a proceeding in where her name is included? Shouldn't it be her responsibility to inform the parties that, look, I'm in conflict right now and I'm not going to be able to provide a decision regarding this matter? Like, why should I be spending more money, wasting other people's time, just because somebody does not know what a professional courtesy is and excuses themselves from something they've been appointed to because due to conflict of interest? That's the proper way to proceed with that. If you ever sue a doctor, doesn't matter if you won the case or you lost the case, would you want that person to do a surgery on you? I mean, those are common sense. Like, it doesn't matter which court that you sued the doctor, if it was in small claims court, superior court, federal court, or in a court in another country. It doesn't matter where that proceeding was brought, or if you had an accident where the doctor was involved, or some kind of conflict with the family of the doctor, like, it's automatically like you cannot, ever perform any kind of surgeries on that patient ever again if you have a conflict with that person. So that being said, I mean, the judge, like the doctors don't really know the law as much, but the judge themselves should be aware of these kind of laws, and the fact that they're expecting me to spend more money, which is called fraud, that due to their inactions and due to their inability to perform their duty to provide a judgment, to inform parties that there is a conflict, because of their inability, I am being defrauded by the Justice Department out of hundreds of dollars every month. And these people are, which is why it makes me wonder if these people are even a real judge, because a real judge should be aware of these things, that if their actions, because of their actions, I am losing money and I have to pay to fix the issues that they're creating. It's called fraud, and this is coming from the Justice Department right now. So right now I am trying to schedule a motion in federal court where this this judge has been mentioned in court documents, to try to see if I can get something in writing confirming that. And I already spent that $50 or whatever and tried to speak with the court and stuff, and so I don't really know how long that will even take, because I did request urgency, but court people, they don't really like me, and the feelings is mutual. But so I'm not really sure how long it will take to get that order, or if I will be get that order. But technically speaking, like, the counsel for the judge should be advising that this judge needs to notify parties of the potential conflict, right? It's and the fact that I'm giving these people another chance, I don't really want to fight the judge in federal court, to be honest. I only started this motion again. I was like letting it go like 6 months ago, but I only brought this motion back again because I need to get my son back, and I need to get whatever order documents that I can get from the court to try to provide it to the Children in Society, because obviously the judge has absolutely no idea what to do at all at this point, like providing a judgment, providing a conflict of interest, professional courtesy. There's like nothing. So so that's where we are at right now. I'm trying to get an order that says that that this judge does have a conflict, and that she should not be in charge of making decisions relating to me and my child. And also because her expiry for the judgment has been done like a month ago, and nobody granted her additional time, like and the order does not come from her coworker or a friend, or a court staff does not give her a permission. The decision needs to come from the Chief Justice, which is Honorable Justice Sharon M. Nicholas. So, and nobody was looking for trial either, so I'm not really sure what they're gonna do. I did file another motion. Obviously these people are gonna still try to scam me, make sure that I lose even more money, because they don't know how to do their work. So they're expecting me to lose more money, to be honest, which looks really bad from their part, that they're extremely unprofessional, that they don't know what to do or how to do this properly. So they're expecting other people that they're supposed to help, instead that we are put in charge to try to fix all the problems that they're creating, and then we have to fork out money after money after money to fix their problems. So obviously that's this is obviously, everybody can see that this is a fraud, this is a scam coming from the Justice Department right now. So I did file another documents on Friday. I stated that this judge has not been granted any additional time by the Chief Justice, which is Sharon M. Nicholas. She did not grant her any additional time to continue with this file, to provide a judgment at a later date. Nobody is looking for extension, nobody is looking to have this trial done again. And in terms of, it's now my responsibility to provide people with order, that this judge is in conflict and should not be making decisions. It should be the judge's duty to inform all the parties that, that due to the conflict of interest, she's not going to be able to fulfill her duty. So which she clearly doesn't. So I filed the document stating all of this. And I don't know if this judge will be able to review the document, will if it will be sent to her or not. But she should know, like, I should not have to prove that there's a conflict of interest. She should already know. If you have a lawyer, if your lawyer talked to you, if you know the file number, if you received any document from the federal court where I filed my paperwork stating all of these things about you, if you already have those documents, you should already know that you're in conflict and that you should not be making decisions, and you should inform the other parties about that. But if you inform them or not, the fact is you are aware, judge, that you are in conflict. Okay, you are aware you have not been given any permission for extension of time. You are aware that nobody's requesting extension, nobody is requesting additional time, nobody is requesting this matter to be reheard. Now I'm asking that you dismiss this file because there's no other steps to be taken at this point. Okay, nobody wants to go for another motion, nobody wants to prolong this for another month, 2 months. Nobody wants to do any of those things. I don't want to go to federal court and talk about all of these things and embarrass you in front of the judges over there that you haven't been able to make a decision for almost 7 months now, and that you people have not let me see my son for the past 16 months. These are very bad, and you don't want this being said to other judges. This is very embarrassing for you. So the best thing you can do is dismiss this file and let us go, and we go our separate ways. We don't have to see each other. We're never gonna go back to the court. There are other family courts in Toronto. There's superior courts. If I have to ever file for divorce or have to do a notice of relocation, I can always go to another court. You're not the only option. So, why are you keeping us trapped? There's no order said that you can still make a decision at any time that you want. There's no order granting you any time. And plus the conflict of interest, like, you cannot make a life-changing decision regarding my son when you're very much aware, regardless if that case is dismissed, the judge wants to see me or not, regardless if the judge gives me the order that I want or not, regardless, even if you win in that case, it doesn't matter. The conflict of interest will still be in place regardless of what outcome it is. It doesn't matter if I have a case against you in federal court or if I had a problem with you at a McDonald's parking lot. Okay, the conflict of interest, the law for public of interest, will still apply regardless what the situation is. The police officer that dragged me out of my apartment, he will never put me in charge of making decisions for his family, and the other way around, because of conflict of interest. It doesn't matter what kind of a person I am. It doesn't matter if he's a law enforcement officer. It has nothing to do with that. The conflict of interest applies if you have ever been involved in any incident with that party in any way, in personal life, in professionally, in any way. If there has ever been any incident where there's personal differences, you are not going to be able to participate in making decisions regarding my family. So why is my son being withheld? So this is called child trafficking, which is section 279.02 subsection 1. If a person is withholding a person's child in order for material benefit, financial benefit, gifts, whatever it is, or just hate crime, it doesn't matter. It's called child trafficking, kidnapping, etc. So this is really bad, and this case needs to be dismissed as soon as possible without expecting that I fork out even more money to try to fix the issues that should have been resolved last month and should not have prolonged all this time. Okay, I should not have gone back to the federal court. I should not have spent like another couple $100 in notary fees and filing fees and stuff. I should not have to stay without my son for another few months. I should not have to go to other courts and talk to other people that should probably focus on other cases as well, just because you just like, oh, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I don't need any permission. I'll just file paperwork whenever I want. People, the whole world will just stop their life and just wait around for me. That's not how life works. So basically right now, this is why I'm saying that this is a case of child trafficking right now. I did file another set of documents on Friday, and I included all parties and court all in the same email so that they are not trying to fork out more money out of me to, so that they have a business going on, so that they can help their friends make money, which is again is conflict of interest. I believe it's should be like rule 3 or rule 4, that you cannot help your you cannot make a decision to help for the help of the monetary benefit of your friends and family. So basically right now I'm giving them one more chance. I'm extremely stressed about this because my son is in grade 9. He is in first semester right now, and 1 month has passed since his school started. And my main concern right now, that even if he comes home like end of this month, it's still gonna be 1 month past when the school year started, and my son needs like I think 17 or 30 credits, or sorry, 17 or 20 credits, I'm not really sure, I have to look into that, but to graduate from high school after grade 12. So I want to make sure that if he does come home, even if it's in the middle of the semester, I can speak with his school to make sure that he's only graded for the time being when he's here. So I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but that's my main concern right now, because I don't want my son to fail because he's being transferred in the middle of the school year, which is why I brought this motion on August 29th to try to have the file dismissed, because the school was starting on like September 3rd or 4th or something like that. So this is like really, really bad. So but it's just 1 month. My son told me last week that it's not that bad. There's only been like 2 homeworks, 1 or 2 homeworks, so they haven't really gone like fully into the studying mode yet. So if he even comes home right now, he still should be able to adjust pretty quickly in school in Toronto, because right now he's in London, Ontario. So that's really what I'm mostly worried about, because the first semester ends on January 28th of 2026, which is like another 4 months from now. And like that will be like freaking insane if I miss another birthday and Christmas and everything, because these people don't know anything about the law, and they want to force themselves onto me. To be honest, I'm like looking forward to telling these people, just please stay the hell away from my family, especially me and my son. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It's not my responsibility to provide anybody with any judgment from the federal court saying that there's a conflict of interest. This has been put into the motion materials that I filed with the court. So the judge should know this already, if because she's the one who's in conflict. If she has he's spoken to his lawyer, so they will know. They should, I should not have to provide additional documents confirming that. So, and even the fact that I'm talking about these things, because this is right now, this is a case of child trafficking. This is no longer a case of child protection. This is a case of child trafficking. And as per freedom of speech, Charter of Freedom of Speech, I'm fully within my rights to speak about this. I am not a party of any media. I do not work for any media company, so I do not, I do not have to, abide by any particular law. But as a citizen, I have the freedom of speech to speak about my concerns and the potential a threat to my family, which I'll not be staying quiet about, because they have been threatening me for the past 16 months that they're going to give my child away if I talk about this. And guess what? I haven't seen my son in 16 months. I'm not really sure how else you're going to give my son away when he's not even with me. Like, how much more are you going to give my son away than he's not even here? So yeah, and basically these judges can no longer make a decision to begin with. So right now I'm gonna inform everybody. I'm gonna hopefully hear back from them in about a week and a half or so, and so that everybody knows what these people are coming up with this time. To be honest, like, it's very interesting to see what these people coming up with. To be honest, at this point there's no law being applied to this case. They are just improperly withholding my child. And yeah, I mean, I did make a video about the parties involved in this proceeding, involved in the trafficking of my son. I am withholding that information because I do not want to just go out there and start more issues right now. But and I would like to give these people the last opportunity, because I had the last 3 weeks or so, I had many opportunities to discuss this with every legal counsel and lawyers involved, and nobody has been able to provide any decision. So now that this is being heard back into the same court where these judges are working, they should know about the conflict of interest, and they should not be writing an order saying that, yes, you have to provide evidence that I'm the judge who's signing the order is in conflict of interest. Like, you should already know, because you have a lawyer that you speak with. So that would automatically seem like a fraudulent order. That how come a judge doesn't know that there's a case against them in another court, which you should be very much aware of. So so we'll see what they come up with, to be honest. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing these people, if they're going to be writing in the court order saying that, I'm the judge. She's alleging that I'm in conflict of interest that I don't know anything about, which would be very funny. And that also the councils that are asking for an order confirming the conflict of interest, if there's some, I mean, obviously this video itself or any other video that I made relating to this file, naming these judges should already put that judge in conflict. So even if the judge is reviewing these videos right now, they should already know that they are in conflict and should not be signing any endorsement any further. So and that it should be their legal counsel in federal court, the counsel that are representing them in federal court, should bring this issue up in federal court, in which these judges are a party addressing these issues, and which so there's a whole another process regarding this. And obviously, like I said, I have freedom of speech, Charter of Freedom of Speech, which nobody can say that I cannot talk about or certain things just because, oh hey, I'm doing something illegal and I'm gonna make an order making sure that you can never talk about it. No, that's not how life works. So so yeah, so I'm gonna see what they come up with in the next couple weeks, and I will inform everybody, and I will make an updated video throughout the week, again next week when I hear back, I only file my materials on Fridays, so when I receive my responding materials from the other party, so I filed a, here's another thing, so the lawyer that's breaking the law and trafficking my child, she what I have filed a complaint against her in Law Society of Ontario, and requested. I've been told that if I need to upload any more with any more documents, that I can do so. So I'm actually looking forward to see what this lawyer comes up with, because I included a lawyer as a lawyer. I'm not really a technically a lawyer, but a lawyer knows the law, right? So I stated my grounds for why I'm asking for this to dismiss this file, like expiry of judgment, extension of time, conflict of interest, child trafficking law. I included all of that in my documents. A lawyer, a person who studied the law, knows laws. So I'm going to see what law the responding lawyer will include on her documents, and I will make a video about this next week. Or they have 7 days to respond, so once I hear back from them, whatever she wrote, I'll inform them. If I feel like there's further violation, I'll provide it to the Law Society of Ontario that this she's still looking to traffic my child, and for so that she can continue to make money by prolonging files instead of doing what's right and closing the file and letting my family go. So yes, I'll keep everybody know. I'm going to upload this in few minutes in on YouTube, and yeah, and if for some reason over a week goes by and there's no update, people should really be worried about where I am, because I am under a lot of threats that I'm getting every day, that it's kind of like a signaling kind of thing, that these people saying that I may get abducted, I'm gonna go to jail, and there's not gonna be like a court process, and they're gonna just hold me there, that somebody will break into my home and rape me and stuff. So I get like all these different kind of threats sent to me all the time. So if for any reason nobody hears back from me within a week, then people really should be worried about that something really bad happened to me, and then they should perhaps kind of wonder what's really happening. And so yeah, that's all for today. That's a lot of 32 minutes of blah blah, and I'll let everybody know how things go throughout the week. If I hear back from people earlier, if they decide to give my son back unopposed, if nobody files any response, whatever it is, I'll inform everybody. And then whatever the judge's decision is at the end of the day, I will also let everybody know about that, and we'll go from there. That's all. Thank you. Bye.